I have an idea. I do not have matching thread for this fabric, but I just found some. I'm taking it directly from the fabric, and I think it might work. It's definitely strong enough. I don't know if this is going to focus well, but before I use the thread that I just pulled from the main garment, I'm going to finish sewing this bias binding to cover the raw edge. I would have preferred to do a facing on this, but when I started with this, I had no idea what I was creating. I was just testing out a bunch of different ideas, and I liked where it was going, and I figured, you know what, we'll deal with the edges at some point, and we are at that point. So I started this a few weeks ago before, I believe, before the first hurricane or during it. When was I? I don't know. I distinctly, I remember sewing this before the power went out and while the power was out. But power always goes out, so I don't remember if that was the first one or the second one. But at some point I stopped because a cold front came, and this is definitely, it's not lined. It's definitely summer attire. It's not really fall or winter, and we are in October. It's almost the end of October. But today is actually going to be pretty warm. Tomorrow is going to be warmer, and it's going to be warm during the week. Last night, it was surprisingly warm. Much warmer than I was not dressed appropriately. I was dressed as though it was going to be cooler because I expected it to be, and it definitely was not. I can't grade this weather. And then depending on what area you're in, like if you're by the waterfront, it's a little different. If you're in the city, it's a little different. And when I say city, an area where it's densely populated with a lot of high rises or buildings. And then if you're in a community with a lot of trees, the climate just, it's hard for me to gauge. And my body temperature fluctuates, and whatever, it doesn't matter. But I stopped working on this, and then I started working on something else that, since I'm talking about it, I might as well show you. So I ended up with this. I took apart a fabric that was perfectly fine in its original state, and I had this idea that I thought would be interesting, and I don't regret it yet. I just don't know what direction I want to take with it. So I took and this is cotton. It's actually, what do you call this? A duvet cover? I believe it's a duvet cover. I bought it at IKEA specifically to turn into a dress because I like the thick material. I enjoyed the fabric pattern, the print. But apparently I didn't enjoy it enough to just leave it in its original state. I don't know what I was thinking. I do. It's fun to take risks, but I didn't like where it was going, and now I'm unsure about what to do. So I have given up. Also because I started working on it when the cold front hit, and I was like, dude, there's no way I'm gonna finish this in time. But let me back up. What I do love about this is I doubled the fabric. I literally cut each strip, and then I folded it in half and sewed it. And my original plan was I did take some pictures of it. They're not the greatest pictures. I don't even feel like looking for them because, I don't know, I didn't like where I was going with it. So I was weaving the strips. And then I was playing with the different gradients that we have going on, and I don't know, I'm not into it. But I do like that it's doubled because, again, the weather is changing. So I don't know, maybe I'll just end up sewing them back together, and I'll end up with some interesting detail in between each ribbon, strip, whatever we call it. But the direction I was headed in, let me find it, or at least the original inspo. So I have this project book. I'm still playing around with it. I created this during a journaling workshop that I held, and I actually really like this detail of having, this isn't focusing, of having the thread dangling, especially since this is a Fibercraft inspo page. So I did mention that I have some skirts I plan on making. How do I do this? This camera doesn't fully want to focus. Maybe it's a good idea for you not to see all of my plans, and then you can just see what it looks like when I'm done. Anyway, is this focused? So we have skirts in mind, really close to the camera. And I'm like, am I breathing heavily? Do I have a problem? Am I dying? But I'm just at a really weird angle and I keep moving around. So you get the idea. It's gonna be a cute skirt. And I really like this jacket situation that's happening. I don't plan on making something exactly like this, but I like the direction we're headed in. And again, the weather is fluctuating, but I want something similar to this and in this length. But this was the original inspo, and it's dark. Just go with it. This was the original inspo for the top. I like this sort of ruching detail. I was going to use an elastic around here. I like this because it doesn't create gaping when you bend over or as you're moving around. I think this fabric is a little too thick for this big poofy sleeve. I just feel like it's not gonna poof out. I think for this I need something a little more gauzy or like cotton. Well, poplin, is that what you call it? Or even this shirting material would be fine. There's another cotton. Actually, I do have a cotton that I made sleeves that are just like this, but this is too, it's not the right type of cotton. So I don't know, but this was the direction I was headed in, and as you can see, I have no idea what to do with this. And since the weather is back to warmth for a few days, and we as in me, but I guess we, since you're along for the journey, I'm moving into, sorry, I'm trying to change the focal point. This is a lot to do. I'm trying to get used to recording and thinking and talking and doing all of this all at the same time, and also doing it without pacing around. And I don't know, it's easier to concentrate and focus when I'm just pacing around or swinging or moving. I don't know, maybe that's an ADHD thing. But what was I saying? Yes, so I have set out to create a capsule wardrobe in a week, and it took me about 4 or 5 days to work on this new pattern that I had downloaded. And I love the pattern. I tested the pattern, and I tested it on extremely boring fabric, which was slightly intentional, but a little, I didn't put enough thought into it. So the pattern's great. The test fit is great. So now I can move on and actually make it in fabric that I want to wear. And since I've already sewn it up and I know what to do, it's gonna be a much quicker, so I should legitimately be able to do it in a day. Will that happen? I don't know. I can't even do this stitch here because I'm talking. So I'm probably going to take a break from talking and try to finish this up. Then I'm going to take the thread that I pulled from here and work on this edge. I need to try it on first because I don't know if it makes sense to even explain, but we have this is the outside, but the way that this is folding over, we're kind of blending the outside with the inside, and I don't know how things are going to meet up down here or where it's going to fall. Actually, I don't think it matters. Oh, it doesn't matter because this is on the inside. And what side is this? This is the right side, as in my right arm goes through here, and it wraps over, because this top is it's a wrap shirt. That sounded weird in my head. Hearing that, wrap shirt. Can you even see that? I don't know if I'm doing a good job of showing while telling, but it's going to hide this piece. So I'm fine. I don't even need to try it on yet. I'm gonna go ahead. Well, once I finish up here, I'm just gonna do this last piece that I gave up on during the hurricane and add this strip on the edge. Then I need to add this strip here to complete this. I want to iron it. I want to try it on and show you, but I need to iron before doing so. And this line I need to still be able to see, but if I iron it, it's going to disappear. Things will have to wait. I have to do the collar. Before I do the collar, I am going to add this piece right here. Yes, this piece right here. I had this hanging for a while and then I eventually cut it. I think that was how I ended up with this strip here. I think I cut it from this long one, but I really loved the detail of it hanging on this side. So I only have one strip hanging and I enjoy it. It's just flapping about. I also really enjoy that it's on the bias. It creates an interesting eye-catching detail, and the drape and flowiness of it should be nice. So I'm going to cut another lengthy strip of bias and double it and then create I guess a tie that hangs somewhere over here. I still need to finish off the collar. I need to finish off this ruffle sleeve on the outside, and then I need to finish off the ruffle, or not the ruffle, but the seam on the inside. I might serge it. That's probably the sensible thing to do. I'm not sure. It depends on how visible things are when I have it on, because I really don't want to see it, or I may just end up adding more bias binding on the inside. So for this edge, I think I'm going to do a, what do you call that? A narrow hem, and obviously hem it. But again, I don't want the straight line going all the way around that I would normally see if I use the sewing machine. So I guess, well, it's not a true blind hem. If I did this correctly, can you see this? Oh, you can't even see this. I'm talking and things are not in focus. I'm so sorry. I hope it's not annoying. But I have to find this. Hold on, I'm moving. It keeps moving. I don't know how to make it fixed. And I don't really want it to be fixed because I'm not in a fixed position. I just want it to find me. I don't know. I need to change settings. I don't know how to do that. Sorry. But can you see that? It keeps moving. Stop that. So you can see my stitches. It's not completely blind, especially this one here. You can see the stitches. And this thread that I'm using, it's a white thread, but it's not a white that matches this white exactly, which is why I stole thread from the main fabric, so it would match. But my logic behind it, I was thinking that as I wear it and wash it, they will blend together. So I don't know, it's a theory, we'll see, but I am gonna start using matching thread and see how that works out. But from my understanding, if I wanted this to be more seamless and not be able to see my stitches where I have the thread, I should have just caught it. I don't even know how to explain that, but I'm supposed to catch on to just one single thread, and then it would be a little more seamless and it would blend in with the weave or weft or whatever's happening. I did not do that, clearly. That was very tedious, and I just felt like it needed a little more strength. So I did it the way that I chose to do that. But here, I'm trying to find, I'm sorry, this is so annoying. But I'm trying my best here, and it's good enough, because I say it is. Normally, focus. Come on, you can do it. You got this. You can do it. Trust me. So normally, there would be a line here, but what I attempted to do was focus my stitching on just the white parts, and on the back you can see I did overlap on some of the dark pieces. It's not focusing, I'm sorry, but you hear the story, you get what's happening. So it's not the cleanest on the inside. Again, I'm not a professional hand sewer. I'm doing my best. I'm just making stuff that I'm interested in wearing and just expressing my creativity. So it's just for me, but thank you for joining me on this journey. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to this and we'll see where we end up.